Hello and welcome back to Umineko.
Hi.
We're back. How long has it been since? Hold on. How long has it been?
Not that long.
Load. We last recorded on
We
the.
usually
Oh, it only
we
is.
usually read like once a week.
Yeah. It's been about a week actually. Yeah. All right, sick. Well, welcome back, everyone, and we're just gonna jump right into it. Cause I remember shit got wild last time and time before that, and I have a feeling it's just gonna keep getting more wild, and I'm gonna keep losing my goddamn mind.
Yeah, that's just how this game is. I've a couple of people in a server I'm in. We're posting screenshots of or like memes about episode 4 and wow, you are not ready for episode 4.
It's- I'm just gonna be screaming so much, my audio's gonna be just fully clipped. Like I just can't. You just can't hear me.
So funny when that happens.
Forget what the adults expected. At least for us kids, these were supposed to be a fun couple of days where the cousins deepened their friendship. However, when we woke up, there was an unbelievably cruel reality waiting for us. George Aniki and Jessica were crying over Shannon-chan and Kankun's death. I was just fucking. Where the fuck are we? What?
Clearly the lobby on the first floor of the guest house.
Alright, fuck it! This fucking beautiful lobby with a stocked bar in the background, it looks like.
Yeah, guess nobody felt like drinking before.
This isn't quite like the Island 7-Eleven, but it's up there. The Island 7-Eleven. So there's just in it now a fucking beautiful lobby. And an entire hidden mansion on the island. Alright. Everyone who was alive had gathered in the lobby on the first floor of the guest house. And there were 12 people there. Unbelievable, right? There were 18 until yesterday. And in one night, a third of that number had lost their lives. I eventually sobered up from my agitation, and, along with my lack of sleep from being woken up so early in the morning, I was beginning to feel a faint sense of unreality. I want to think this is some kind of bad dream. My cheap escapism is telling me that over and over. Maria had gone back to sleep on the sofa Rose was sitting in. On the sofa Rosa was sitting in. Why did I call her Rose? Rather than her having nerves of steel, she probably genuinely hadn't had enough sleep. Why is he holding it like that? The adults
He's
are.
being extra careful.
The adults are. This is the most careful I've seen anyone with guns so far in this game. The adults were holding items from what was apparently grandfather's collection. Short barrel Winchester rifles, multiple, alright. Apparently relics from a time he'd been obsessed with westerns. There were 4 guns altogether. Those have been split up among the 4 siblings, Uncle Kraus, Aunt Ava, my dad, and Aunt Rosa. Paper boxes filled with bullets lay on the table, and the siblings were silently loading them. It's a little scary, even now touching one of these. I get the feeling Dad will yell, "Don't touch that," and hit me.
Well, isn't that great? No matter how much you touch them, you won't be hit again.
Yep, Dad's fucking dead, so we can touch these guns all we want. Also, I love how tiny the guns look in Krause's and Rudolph's hands. Like, with Rosa and Natsuhi, they look like kind of intimidating. They look like pretty big, but they look like tiny little like pistols. They look like flintlock pistols in Gross's and Rudolph's hands.
They look a little bit larger than that in Rudolph's hands.
I can't believe it. To think that father would meet this kind of end. Well, I never did expect Kinzo to die normally in his bed. Even so, it is too horrible.
Hey, I wonder if that really was father. I think it might be a different person's corpse, used as a substitute to trick us.
Did anyone check his feet? Did anyone check out his dogs? Get his fucking dogs out and check, quick! No. It was father, without a doubt. Oh yeah, they checked it out. You saw his toes, right? Generally speaking, there aren't many humans with 6 toes on both feet. 1 foot maybe, but both?
But that doesn't mean that such people don't exist. I've heard that polydactyly isn't that rare a disease.
I wouldn't say it's a disease.
He was a man who liked large. It's such a strange way to say it.
Yeah, it's just like a
Maybe it's just a translation thing. But
yeah, it's just like it's just like a genetic mutation. It's so weird.
Yeah.
He's suffering from having 1 extra toe.
He was a man who liked large-scale tricks, right?
Do you think... This is gonna be such a stupid joke. Do you think Alex Hirsch, creator of Gravity Falls, got influence from Umineko, so he gave one of the most important characters 6 fingers?
That would be really funny.
That'd be
I hope
so
it's true.
funny.
I hope so.
Oh god, in a perfect world it would be.
Yeah.
Just hey, I meet Alex Hirsch. It's like I wonder like oh this guy he's a creative genius. He's done so much. He's allowed so many creatives to make their own, and like he's just kind of influenced a whole new generation of creatives. So have you ever read Umineko?
He might have obtained a corpse from somewhere that had the same number of toes on both feet.
Ridiculous. Why would he do something like that? I don't know. It sounds like something he'd do. I'd agree if it was a normal person. But this is father we're talking about. Can't be sure Kitty isn't talking nonsense. After all, burning a corpse makes it hard to identify. Still, there should be a few ways to examine him from his teeth and bone structure. If the police investigated, of course they'd be able to know whose body it was right away.
I don't think anyone has his dental records on hand.
Like, Cross-summer. I believe you should go see a dentist. No! Let them have records of my teeth? Why would I let them?
Yeah, what if he wants to pull off a big prank like this
Yeah!
someday?
Oh, fuck. All of this is just a massive prank on Battler, constructed by Kinzo. Like, how the fuck did you do this?
It's revenge for leaving the family. The problem is that we need a telephone engineer more than the police right now.
The boats probably won't come in this typhoon. So will they arrive tomorrow? Most likely. The boat will come again at 9 tomorrow. Then I believe we will be able to contact the police.
It's the same for us. And the culprit. Until the typhoon passes, this island will be closed off.
I give it 3 hours until the siblings are in a Reservoir Dogs situation.
Huh?
They're just all holding guns at each other, like accusing each other. Beatrice isn't gonna have to do anything. She just needs to kill the first 6 and then let the siblings rule. I guarantee you, most are gonna die by the end of the night.
What, from killing each other?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't trust these siblings.
Mm-hmm.
Just from our parents' conversation, you could probably figure out the general gist. But let's explain the situation anyway. First, early that morning, in various places throughout the mansion, a total of 6 corpses, including grandfather and all the servants, have been found dead. Been found one after the other. Alright. Start at the top.
Ushiromiya Kinzo. His body was found as a burnt corpse in the underground boiler room's incinerator. No evidence of a struggle was found inside the incinerator, so it's probably reasonable to assume that he was burned after his murder. Too bad this time. It was game over from the start.
Servant Genji. His body was found in the VIP room on the 2nd floor. The weapon used on him is assumed to be a gun or spear-shaped object. To thank Genji for his many years of service, let us allow him to rest in the VIP room.
Servant Shannon. Her corpse was found in the parlor on the 1st floor. The weapon used on her is assumed to be a gun or spear-shaped object. Let Shannon have the parlor, with its wonderful view of the rose garden on sunny days. Servant Canon. His corpse was found in the chapel. The weapon used on him is assumed to be a gun or spear-shaped object. For Canon, the chapel, let him continue to protect the Lord's precious place, even after death.
Servant Goda.
Servant...
Found in the island 7-Eleven. They just include an entirely new location in the obituary.
Servant Goda. His corpse was found in a waiting room on the 3rd floor. The weapon used on him is assumed to be a gun or spear-shaped object. The room next to the study is fitting for him, considering how much he wanted to earn Kinzo's favor. Servant Kumasawa. Her corpse was found in the guest room on the 2nd floor. The weapon used on her is assumed to be a gun or spear-shaped object. The seldom used 2nd floor guest room was her secret napping spot. Secret napping spot is based.
Oh yeah. First, grandfather had been in the boiler room, completely burnt. The servants had died, each shut up in the rooms throughout the mansion that had magic circles drawn on them. The cause of death for the servants was uncertain, but according to Dr. Nanja's diagnosis, there was a high likelihood that they had been stabbed by something like a spear, or possibly shot with a gun. That was why the adults had started arming themselves with Winchesters. And what made the situation even more chaotic was the fact that the telephones had become unusable. It was unknown if lightning had caused them to break down or if the culprit had broken them. At any rate, since contact with the outside had been cut off, we couldn't reach the police. So until the typhoon passes and a boat comes tomorrow morning, we'll have to protect ourselves. After all, Rokkenjima is now isolated by the typhoon. And just as we're stuck on the island, so is the culprit. It seems that the adults have stayed up all night holding the family conference in the mansion's dining hall the whole time. And yet, the crime had occurred in the mansion. So right now, when the adults had been in an uproar over money, the murderer had been killing under the same roof. They say Aunt Natsui's been strict about locking the doors and windows at night. Wait, did I say at the night? At the night, yep. And yet, some suspicious person had entered and left the mansion. The adults had decided that the inside of the mansion was too large to be safe. So they had pulled out the guns and moved to the guest house where we had been. Which brings us to the present. George Anaki had begged to see Sharon-chan's corpse, but the adults had refused, saying that he mustn't do so until the police arrived. To be fair, this might be the least traumatizing Shannon corpse he could see. she's pretty intact. That wasn't just because they wanted to see all the rooms to preserve the scene. After all, the culprit who had killed 6 people was wandering about the mansion. To the Ushiromiya family right now, that mansion that should have been their home was now a danger zone that an unknown murderer could enter and leave at his will. After all, it's a huge mansion. There are plenty of blind spots and dark places, and it's too vast to guarantee absolute safety with this number of people. Relatively speaking, the guest house was much smaller. It had 2 above-ground stories. Something like 10 or so rooms? Apparently it had originally been constructed to serve as a small hotel, as part of the plan to turn this island into a resort. So it was easier to know what was going on everywhere inside it, and it'd be easier to keep it safe. It made for a good place to hole up in. Also, it's extremely likely that this mass murder of 6 people was a game. After all, Colbert had proclaimed so in a letter. I heard that a Western-style envelope with the family crest, just like the one Maria claimed to have received from Beatrice yesterday, had been found in the boiler room where Grandfather's corpse had been discovered. This was what the letter said. So that there will be no misunderstandings, the game I seek is for everyone to try and solve the riddle of the epitaph, not for you to try and catch me. If you don't solve the riddle, the pitiful sacrifices will further increase in number. It would be wiser to spend your time solving the epitaph instead of searching for me. If no one can solve the riddle, no one will survive. If a person appears who can miraculously solve it, I will give them all the gold of the Golden Land, the Ushiro family headship, and all of my power. I was the one who succeeded the Ushiro family headship after Kinzo-sama. I look forward to seeing who will succeed to the headship after me, the Golden Witch Beatrice. This riddle of the epitaph was that thing. That strange epitaph written by the portrait of the witch on display in the hall of the mansion. Grandfather was the one who had it written, and the person who solved it would supposedly be given the inheritance or the hidden gold or something like that. Ever since it was first put on display there several years ago, the relatives had secretly tried to solve that riddle, despite saying on the surface that the whole idea was silly. However, up until today, no one had solved it. We were once again being urged to solve that unintelligible riddle, and this time, we were faced with the threat that we'd all be killed if we didn't solve it. If that wasn't a game, what else could it be? The bold opinion that we should search the premises for the culprit did come up once. However, there was a good chance they were armed, and there might not just be one of them. And, while they might have been able to kill more than 6 people, they had stopped at 6. The opinion that won out in the end was that we should avoid needlessly antagonizing the culprit, and hole up in a safe place while we waited for the police to arrive. Beato was sitting there like, so, are we gonna check out that riddle, or are we just gonna kind of sit around here for a bit? Like, only Battler is like, I'm kind of bored, gang. I want to check out this riddle. This seems sick as hell. After the adults carefully checked that the doors and windows in the guest house were locked, they set up camp in the lobby. As they loaded their guns to distract themselves from the tension, their expressions showed that they were already fatigued from this long day, which had still barely begun. There was nothing for me to do. Now all I could do was be taught how to use a gun, to prepare for the off chance of something happening that led to an excess of guns. That's fine. Just obediently stay there, me and the rest of you. 6 people in the beginning again. And this time his grandfather... 6 people in the beginning again. Huh. If only there was something that said 6 people had to die in the beginning. It's like, yeah. Yeah, it's very clearly 6 people in the beginning. Ooh. I think... Is this song new?
Maybe.
It sounds new, and I like it. And this time it's grandfather and all the servants put together.
No, I think we've heard this before. Most likely, that child has carefully studied your moves from the last game, and has made an optimal move by taking the pieces you are most likely to suspect from the start.
That makes sense. That was true both last time and the time before that. The servants who know everything about the mansion and who walk around with keys always fall into the most suspicious category of people. A good example in the last game would be Jessica's closed room. If I'd only accepted that a servant was the culprit, that wouldn't even have been a closed room.
And so, that child went straight for them. Probably to block up a method of escape you'd be likely to attempt sooner or later.
Beato already proclaimed and read that there are no more than 18 people on this island. In other words, it's time to give up on that. Now I've got to suspect one of the 18. It was probably Ava. It's just like, no hesitation, like, alright, well, it's probably her. Have you seen her? She's definitely the most likely to kill.
That child will probably come at you by stealing the pieces for all the 18, while also making an appearance as a 19th person who shouldn't exist. For then, you would be forced to accept that your opponent is a witch. After all, now that the intimidation approach has failed, trying to force you to surrender by showing you magic, the only remaining option is a frontal attack.
Perfect. Bluffing won't work anymore.
Be careful. Deception is what witches are best at. No matter what your opponent says or shows you, it will not be able to threaten the truth that you believe in. Don't forget that.
R.I.P. Battler, you would have loved Persona 4. Persona 4 mod that turns the protagonist into Battler. Oh, fuck. Sure. As if I'd fall for the same moves over and over. Come on out, Beatrice. Let's get started. Now this is definitely new music.
I am already seated at the table of the contest, and my turn is already complete.
Sorry, the chord progression there for a second sounded really familiar. I'm not sure what, but I heard it and I was like, wait. To think we would end up having Madame as a foe. This will not be easy, milady. My moves will be read thoroughly.
I care not. By now, teachers' moves are all old-fashioned classics. There's nothing to fear.
Damn, that piano player is fucking going ham! I'm just imagining it's one of the Seven Sisters of Purgatory in the corner just going crazy on the piano.
So, just what moves can you make beyond the classics that I taught you? I look forward to seeing Beatrice. You okay with this, Battler? Can someone who denies witches really accept a witch as a strategist?
She's not a witch, she's just cool. Your stupid provocation is pointless. This is my advisor. No. My second. And there's no fix of these two?
There's one.
There's only one.
Uh-huh.
I can't believe that doesn't change one bit. That this is a fist fight between you and me. Put him up. I would love it if Battler just actually threw a punch at Beatrice.
I understand. One as wobbly as yourself probably needs training wheels on his bicycle. Do as you like. Come, let us begin. It's your turn.
Oh, fuck! Damn! Sorry, I'm jamming out to the song. Oh, fuck yeah!
I know. There's some really good songs that are introduced in this episode.
I can tell! God damn! Shit, put this up in the club, I'm starting a mosh pit. I know mosh pits don't usually start up at the club. I wanted to make the joke though.
I mean, I would love to start a mosh pit at a club.
Oh fuck it, that'd be amazing.
They should, you know how they have Shrek raves?
Yeah, there was one near me. There was one near me, and I really considered going. I was like, that does sound fun.
They should have Umineko raves.
Oh god, that'd be great.
If I ever become a DJ, I'll
All,
be sure to do some Umineko raves.
all your sets are just exclusively the Umineko soundtrack.
Yeah. Actually, I do know a DJ who who's into Umineko, so I might maybe try and convince her to
Do an
do an
Umineko set.
do an Umineko set. Yeah.
Oh fuck yeah. Let's begin with the reconstruction of the crime scene. Virgilia, quickly please.
The first corpse discovered was Shannon's. She was found at the parlor on the first floor of the mansion. The door and windows were locked, and a closed room was established.
Beato, I need some details. Let's reconfirm the definition of a closed room.
Indeed. The term closed room refers to a room where the inside and the outside are completely cut off from each other. Naturally, it would be impossible to even affect things across that boundary line, much less enter or escape across it. This includes an all-inclusive denial of the existence of hidden doors, as well as all possibility of intervention from the outside. Henceforth, this shall be referred to as Beatrice's closed room definition.
Let's focus in a bit. How do you define all possibility of intervention from the outside?
I refer to all types of direct intervention from the outside, such as using a fishing line or a long, thin rod. In conclusion, there are no gaps in the doors and windows through which such tricks will work.
I wonder about that. Even if there wasn't a gap, you should be able to interfere with radio waves, like with the remote control, right? What is your fucking... What are you gonna say? That someone hacked their fucking pacemaker?
Insane reach.
Who knows?
I wouldn't put it past him.
And then Beatrice would be like, fucking what? She'd be so shocked she wouldn't even remember to use Red Truth.
Yeah. The shocked Beato sprite. Very well. I'll add to this definition that interference due to radio waves and related methods of remote control shall be impossible.
There's also an extension telephone in the parlor. A device connected to that wouldn't count as a remote control, right?
The phones are already unusable, are they not? Whatever. I'll include that too. All direct and indirect methods of interfering with the inside of the closed room from the outside of the room are impossible.
What about a voice or a knock? Those should be able to interfere from the outside without someone entering the room, right?
Even though it's a closed room, it probably isn't possible for someone to knock or call out. The closed room definition does not cover whether transmission of intent across the boundary is possible or not.
In other words, you can't make it so your definition includes the blockage of all methods of communication with the outside. Is he about to say that the culprit convinced them to off themselves? Battler, if that's where you're going, I'm gonna kiss you. Please tell me that's where you're going. That is indeed the case. Understood. So Shannon-chan's parlor satisfies Beatrice's closed room definition, right?
Correct.
Closed room definition. Understood. Continue, Virgilia.
Yes, Miss Shannon's corpse was in possession of one master key. The relatives who discovered her collected this.
Beato, repeat it. How many master keys this time?
The same as last time. There are 5, one for each servant.
Which means that this still isn't a closed room. There are still 4 master keys left. It just means that after Chan was murdered, one of the other 4 keys locked it. Correct. And it wasn't only a master key that was found.
Yes. Alongside the corpse, there was a Western envelope with the family crest. Instead of a letter, the key to a guest room on the 2nd floor was inside it.
The key to the second floor guest room. The only key other than the master key that can open the door is to the 2nd floor guest room. The only key other than the master key that can open the door to that 2nd floor guest room. Is that definition correct?
Indeed, there's no problem. And unlike the master keys, only one of those exists.
Why? In other words, apart from the 5 master keys, there will be only one key that can unlock certain rooms. In other words, this is a message telling them to go to the 2nd floor guest room next. So the adults move to the 2nd floor guest room, right?
Yes. The door to the 2nd floor guest room was locked, and a magic circle was drawn on it. The relatives unlocked it with the key they had found. Found near Shannon's corpse. Inside, Kumasawa's corpse was discovered. It was a closed room, one that satisfied Beatrice's closed room definition. Kumasawa was in possession of 1 master key. The relatives collected this. And like Shannon's case, there was a Western envelope discovered alongside her. Inside was the key to the 3rd floor waiting room. The relatives moved to the 3rd floor waiting room.
So there was a magic circle on the door to the 3rd floor waiting room, and that door was locked?
Yes. Inside the room, Goda's corpse was discovered. The room was a closed room, one that satisfied Beatrice's closed room definition. Goda was in possession of 1 master key. The relatives collected this. And like up until now, a Western envelope with the family seal was discovered, inside of which was the key to the 2nd floor VIP room. The relatives moved to the 2nd floor VIP room.
What's going on here? What are you planning?
There's no need to glare, is there? It may be a closed room, but there are still multiple master keys that can open it, correct? And besides the master keys, I've even given you keys specific to each room.
I don't like where this is going. I'm starting to see how it'll turn out. So it continues like this for all 6 people?
Yes, that is correct. Inside the 2nd floor VIP room, Genji's corpse was discovered. 1 master key was collected. The key to the underground boiler room was discovered. They moved to the underground boiler room. Inside the underground boiler room, Kinzo's corpse was discovered. The key to the chapel was discovered. They moved to the chapel. Inside the chapel, Kanon's corpse was discovered. 1 master key was collected. The key to the 1st floor parlor was discovered. With this, our reconstruction of how all 6 corpses were discovered is complete.
An addendum. Along with the key to the chapel, a letter was enclosed in the western envelope found near Kenzo's corpse. The contents of the letter were as you saw. It further urged the relatives to solve the riddle of the epitaph. In that case, what's going on? The last place where Canon was had the key to the very first room, the parlor where Shannon was. That makes this closed room all tied together, right?
That is correct. All 6 closed rooms are tied together. The keys to unlock each one are shut up inside the next room. In other words, the 6 closed rooms form one massive closed room, and all of the master keys as well as the individual room keys are shut up inside it.
Don't act so smug, Beatrice. You explicitly told Ronove to do everything.
Furthermore, all of the doors and windows on the 6 rooms are normal. No device exists which can lock them without a key, such as an auto lock. What do you think? It's beautiful, isn't it?
Once again, milady, that is not dignified. Ronove rebuked her. Beato stuck her tongue out, stuck her tongue at him without showing any signs of shame. What? They didn't draw that? This game sucks. They didn't draw
They did it.
Beatrice.
They drew it in the manga.
Oh, can't wait to read the manga.
I highly recommend it after you read the visual novel. The art is so good. Kind of miss out on the music, so that's why I say visual novel first.
I'll just listen to the soundtrack the entire time.
You'll match up every moment with the you'll log every moment and make sure it matches up perfectly.
I'm sure there's someone out there who put together like a play this song during these pages thing.
I wouldn't put it past this Phantom.
I mean, there's someone out there who put together an entire reading list on how to read the Sonic Archie comics, which I still need to get back into reading.
That feels a little more mainstream.
You'd be shocked. The Archie comics are fucking wild.
Sorry. Playing with Battler just put me into such a good mood. So, Battler, what do you think of my move? If you can't think of anything in particular, I wouldn't mind showing you how I made the goats carry the corpses and seal all of the rooms with magic. Okay.
Do what you want. I listen respectfully to this magic theory that you claim is true. However, I can claim my human therapy, even though it's completely different from yours without any interference from your claim. In other words, you're a bitch! Oh wait, no, this is even better. There's no need for me to pay attention to your bullshit! Go ahead and show me how you can unlock the door with your multicolored magic simply by waving your magic staff. Just like those guys with their toad oil and all-purpose kitchen knives. Virgilia, let's reconstruct the crime scene. Search for a weakness. Were they all definitely dead? If one of them is just plain dead, this isn't a closed room at all.
Nanjo confirmed that all of them were dead. However, due to the devil's proof, it is impossible to deny the possibility of a wrong diagnosis. In other words, that child cannot make the likelihood that Nanjo overlooked them being alive equal to 0.
Here it is, the devil's proof. But there exists a sword that can carve that up.
Oh, what's up with them? Looks like they're having a good time leaving me out of the discussion.
Beatrice, are you jealous? I can't believe there's only one Battler x Virgilia fic. Only one. I can't believe it.
I'm his opponent, am I not? Doesn't he have any time to spare for me?
I have read almost this exact situation so many times in manga, and it has never been a non-romance thing, and that's fucking hilarious that they're doing this.
Uh-huh.
Oh, fuck. Fundamentally speaking, communication with one opponent is not necessary to the act of competing in chess. Every time you communicate with him outside of making your moves, you've used that opportunity to confuse him. Perhaps as a result of him not wanting to be led astray. She looks so sad!
Hey, can you blame her for wanting to confuse and torture him?
I can't
It's
believe
fun.
Beatrice is a tsundere. This feels like I'm reading the fucking slice of life spin-off manga for Neon Genesis Evangelion. With Virgilia as Rei and Beatrice as Asuka and Battler as Shinji. I feel like this happened in that spin-off manga. And I believe it's the Shinji Ikari Racing Project. I feel like this has happened. You're challenging him to a chess match, are you not?
That's true, but
Beatrice puffed out her cheeks as though to say, I don't know why, but I don't like it. Oh my god! I can't believe they're making her a fucking tsundere in this.
because the police have not yet arrived at the crime scene, the human's ability to inspect the scene is limited. For a strict confirmation of death, I recommend you have that child repeated and read.
Okay, that's where I'll strike. Repeat it! The 6 victims are all dead. Milady, he has told you to repeat something in red, has he not? Hey, enough lazing around! Do you refuse to repeat it? This is where our battle starts!
What? Oh, ow, 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 ow. Sorry, that's fine, I'll answer. These 6 are all dead. Ginzo, Genji, Shannon, Kanon, Goda, and Kumasawa.
Why are you so out of it? Okay. So I've already... Oh. No, wait, no, let me... Why are you so out of it? Okay, so I've already got one out of you. We'll start by denying that classic trick where the victims are playing dead.
I won't go easy on you anymore. Come at me how you like. I'll slice them slantwise one after another.
Slantwise? What's a... Hold on. I'm gonna get the right I can kind of guess, but I want to know the actual definition. Yeah, it's situated at an angle or moving in a sloping direction. Yeah, that's a good word. That's a good... Slantwise? That's a good word. I like that. Then repeat this. No one is hiding in any of the 6 rooms. Let's see, you deny the existence of people we aren't aware of.
I'll answer. There's no one hiding in the 6 rooms.
I can't believe how happy she's getting now that Balor's talking to her again.
Now that they get to argue.
Okay. Now I'm sure it's only the 6 of them in the can, and they aren't pretending to be dead.
What will you do? What will you do? As if a human could manage anything by now. Obediently kneel to the fact that I can control locks at my will with my wonderful magic. Okay?
He's just like, chemical weapon. Just like, you just had to lure them all into their rooms and you drop a fucking chemical weapon. Boom. Quit babbling. Repeat this too. The 6 deaths were instant deaths.
Instant deaths. Oh, what do you mean by that?
Exactly what it fucking says on the can. What do you mean, what do I mean by that?
It means there's a possibility that a single victim on the verge of death managed to escape into the room. And after locking it from the inside to create a closed room, they passed away.
A classic closed room murder trick. One requiring the victim receives a fatal wound and then die later. It is possible for a closed room to be constructed unexpectedly if the victim holds himself up inside the room to escape the murderer, and then dies after locking the door.
In order to deny that possibility, You will need to proclaim that the six died instantly with the red truth. Very well, very well. I'll slay you with my red treasured sword. The six died instantly. I died instantly, I mean the targets instantly became incapable of action after being attacked. Well, it might still have taken them several seconds or minutes to die in the complete sense of the word. But regardless, it was completely impossible for them to take any actions of their own will. In that sense, I can confirm that they suffered instant deaths.
Up until this point, I've been checking for the classic tricks. Now's when our showdown over the closed room really starts, okay? If the culprit isn't on the inside, they're on the outside. So they somehow killed from outside the rooms.
Have you lost your mind? After all, a closed room equals murder is impossible from the outside, right?
How did you make the equal sign and how did you vocalize that?
That's why only a magical murder would be possible.
No, that's wrong. The right approach is a murder really happened equals it is in a closed room. No matter how much you try to trick me, this definitely isn't a closed room. It's a sham that only looks like one. However, Battler-sama, only the victims are inside the rooms, and no other people exist inside the rooms. And by Milady's closed room definition, remote murders from outside the room have been clearly denied, have they not? Wait, the definition of remote murders is pretty broad, right? It's not just about pulling a fishing line from outside the room and strangling the victim inside the room. That is... I want to see that. That'd be impressive if someone successfully strangles someone with a fishing line from outside a closed room. For example, a trap would make for an excellent remote murder.
A trap? And what might that be?
Some kind of very feminine-looking man? What? No, not that kind of trap.
I was thinking there's a possibility we might make that joke.
I'm sorry, everyone. This is my public apology.
No, it's okay. It's just funny that I kind of predicted it.
Just as an example, let's say they were instructed to enter rooms that someone had picked out beforehand, and lock the door from the inside to create the closed room themselves. A trap was set up in those rooms that they didn't know about, and that's what killed them. How's that? That doesn't contradict anything.
There are no problems. It corresponds to the existing state.
There are no problems on our side either. It does not conflict with Milady's closed room definition.
What's with that stupid reasoning? Nothing suspicious was found in any of the rooms, right? What form did that trap have? Where was it hidden and how did it operate? Explain that for all 6 of them. In the parlor, the guest room, the waiting room, the VIP room, the boiler room, and the chapel.
Fuck if I know! I just had to prove that it didn't have to be magic that killed them.
Well, you can't you? Can you?
I refuse to counter that! There's no need for me to explain, and failing to do so doesn't damage my claim.
What did you say? Beatrice, it's a devil's proof. The fact that he cannot explain the nature of the trap does not in itself deny the existence of such a trap.
Well done. While overbearing, a wonderful move.
This guy's getting completely used to this.
Check. Due to Murder Trap X that we couldn't find, it'd be possible to establish this closed room murder.
killed that check with the red truth. The 6 were not killed by traps.
And the definition of a trap? Well, like I already said. You know where I was going.
I know where you're going with this. Oh, that's it. Something that activates when a victim triggers it on their own. Oh, and that's not all. It also includes things activated by remote control or by a timer. Everything of that sort.
So it refers to all arrangements that could carry out a murder without the direct participation of the one who planned it out. Perhaps we might sum it up that way.
How's that? I struck back. As if I'd let a human crush this closed room.
You're looking pretty frantic to win, too.
What? What do you mean?
You're frantically fighting to make me accept your existence. Till now, I thought I was just being toyed around with you by you one-sidedly. That's not actually true. You're also frantically resisting my counters, fighting to show that you exist. Now, I finally really feel that it's true. It's true. Fuck me. Why can't I read? This isn't torture inflicted on me over whether I'll surrender or not. This is a fight between you and me on even footing. Okay, now it's starting to get interesting, isn't it? All 6 died in closed rooms and no outsiders were inside, and there was no meddling from the outside and also no traps. Up until now, I'd probably start suspecting that this had to be the work of magic. And if you decide to show off some bizarre magic at this moment, I might even have surrendered. It's that favorite strategy of yours. You intercept all my moves, and in the moment I've exhausted all options and fall into my knees, when my heart's barriers are at the weakest, you show off some strange magic and take the game all at once.
That short temper is something this child has always had. Along with the bad habit of rushing things when victory is in sight.
After all, milady cannot stand putting off a match.
Hey, shut up, shut up. It's Battler's turn, right? I finished off that trap piece you advanced. What should I repeat next? Show me what you've got.
Right! Now that even traps have been defeated, this looks like a perfect closed room murder at a glance. And let's all spin the chessboard around right now!
Here it comes, that special technique of yours. How exactly are you going to spin what around? Try showing me.
It really sucks that you said that the anime for this kind of sucks, because, God, a well-done anime of Umineko would fucking rule. You know, like those...
We should watch...
Huh?
We should watch the stage plays together.
We should. Cause, like, you know
I've heard good things about them.
You know, like, the trope that sport animes do, where they just, like, have long-winded monologues, just random shit? That's what this is, and it would be fucking amazing to have that fully acted out and animated.
They should have other sport anime. They should have other sport anime tropes in it, just for fun.
God, have you seen that post that's like, Senpai is watching over you right now. Senpai is furthering their education. It's like why do
I've not seen that?
It's like, why do sport animes always act like they're all treat their seniors like that? It's all they always like Senpai is watching over you right now. Senpai isn't dead. Senpai is furthering their education. Senpai's in college. Yeah, I'll show you. I don't really think of how 6 people could be killed inside closed rooms from the outside. Yeah, it's useless, it's all useless. That's right, the question isn't how you can kill from the outside the rooms. The point is how they died inside the rooms, making them closed rooms. That's it! This is the answer! If you assume that one of the 6 victims was the culprit, this closed room can be explained extremely easily. Murder-suicide, bitch!
What? Ridiculous. I believe I clearly said in red the 6 of them were dead.
Oh, there were 6 deaths! 5 were victims who got killed, but if you assume the other person committed suicide, you can destroy this closed room! Certainly, yeah. If the culprit locked themselves in the final closed room and threw away their own life, this closed room chain would be established. The idea of someone doing a 6-person murder-suicide just to fuck with the other people is so funny to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're getting like all set up in their own closed room and like this'll mess with them. How the fuck are they gonna find this out? They're gonna go insane thinking about this.
The suicide of the culprit. Normally it would be an unthinkable move. But the argument that the unthinkable cannot exist cannot be used. And he has no responsibility to demonstrate a motive. A truly powerful move, which can only be used in a chess match against a witch.
Well, one cannot be certain that there was no motive. For example, it has been announced that Kenzo only had a short time left to live. Perhaps he did not regret losing his short life remaining and used his own death to send a message. It might be possible to attach such a motive. I don't know, I think the motive, they just wanted to fuck with people, is a pretty good motive. Milady,
I guess.
it is our turn.
Indeed. To think you'd trample even the dignity of the dead to create a culprit.
Oh yeah, like you're one to talk.
What a heartless, cold-blooded man.
Balor's just like, you erased Canon. Like, you just fucking erased him and then made a ghoul of him to kill more people, to try and make more people think it was canon.
Eat at him.
Outside of the dead as the culprit, this worse than inhuman move is one you used to attack Karakun in the last game. Bitch, even though the games are different, I'm taking a shot back at you with this move. As a tribute to Karakun for that time. Plus my grandmother's a dick! I don't care about him. Just now, I freed that Karakun from his regrets.
You have no responsibility to hold back here. You should try to confirm that suicide wasn't the cause of any other deaths. I recommend that you have that child repeat it in red.
Right. But suicide's a naive word that won't corner her. Beato, this'll stop you! Repeat it! None of the people committed self-unaliving. What? The 6 deaths were all homicides. That is painful. What's wrong? All 6 of them were killed, right? I'm just confirming that simple premise we've had from the very beginning, right? Can't you repeat it?
I refuse to repeat it. There's no reason in particular.
You realize that refusing to repeat this part is the same as resigning, right? Checkmate! One of the 6 was the culprit, and they planned to commit suicide after constructing the closed room. That's all!
Oh, wait. No. I'll say it.
Beatrice is a lot more likable when she's on the back foot.
Uh-huh.
Sorry.
Sorry for what?
Fuck, I love this direction Beatrice is going. I don't know why, I just love it so much.
What, getting a little silly with it?
I I love that she's like becoming a tsundere.
Uh-huh.
Like, I've seen enough tsundere character archetypes to recognize them. Beatrice is 100% a tsundere, and that is so funny.
I'll use the red like you want. None of the 6 committed suicide. How's that? Are you satisfied? Ka, 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 ka. I struck back. I struck back.
I'm just imagining the Seven Sisters of Purgatory in the corner watching this and like, what the fuck is going on with her? Like, this is our master? I think she needs to take a break. What the hell? So you can say it. That's strange. Why are you so panicky?
It's your imagination. This time, even I'm feeling the pressure. That's right, I don't have any leeway. Pay it no mind. That line you asked that child to repeat has been altered. Do not be fooled. Ah.
It seems not to have worked, milady. That's right! She didn't say the 6 deaths were all homicides. She changed it to none of the 6 committed suicide. Which means that one of them wasn't killed by someone else and didn't... Which means one of them wasn't killed by someone else and didn't commit suicide. Ah! I got it! This is the truth! Culprit X, who is hiding among the 6, murdered the other 5 and then set up a closed room. After that, they planned to escape from or hide in that room by some method. However, they got in an accident. The culprit died from an accident that even they hadn't expected, setting up a closed room murder that they hadn't desired. Now it's over, Beatrice. Checkmate!
Damn it. Did you think I'd be cornered by something like that? I'd never announce my resignation over something like that. I'll slice up that foolish checkmate with my red treasured sword all over and over again. None of the 6 died in accidental... Okay.
Guh? My apologies.
You get that?
Yeah, I got that. My
Okay.
apologies. We request some time to strategize. Please allow us a brief postponement on this matter.
It's a fair request. Perhaps you should accept it.
Sure, take a break. I've been giving those a lot lately. Now it's your turn to take one. Thank you very much. Come, milady, this way. And let us quietly count to 100 inside our heads.
Boing. Mm.
Ronome quickly covered Beato's mouth with his hand as she grew thoroughly panicked and agitated, suspending the game. He pulled Beato away, supposedly to hold a strategy conference. Damn. That demon butler. When Beato got all hot, I had a perfect chance to corner her. Beato normally acted like she was graceful and above it all, but she actually had a really short tempo and got mad easily. Her usual intellect had a lot less voice when she got excited.
Ivanove certainly is thinking clearly. He probably gave your opponent some time to cool down. That child grew too stubborn trying to remove your check. And was about to easily let several large pieces go. After all, the first Twilight is only a skirmish. The correct move at that time would have been to withdraw.
So what does it mean? Did I reach checkmate or didn't I?
That child was about to say something in red. You probably wouldn't have reached checkmate yet. But most likely, you can expect our opponents to resign once they've cooled their heads.
You're joking. Even though she hates losing that much?
Yes, in a losing battle, it is essential to withdraw your troops as soon as possible to try and minimize your losses. The difficult part is gauging whether it's a losing battle or not. Your opponent's butler seems to have calmly made that decision.
Oh well. In other words, she managed to escape by a hair's breadth. Getting checkmate and delivering the final blow won't be that easy for me.
However, you should count this as your victory. It seems they barely managed to prevent a large loss. But they certainly sustained considerable damage. The scale of that child's panic ought to make the depths of that wound quite clear to you.
You could just hear Beatrice screaming, like just quietly screaming, like she's far away, but then, like it's very obvious. Seriously, feels like she'd start crying if I bullied her anymore. Fuck, am I a sadist? As we talked, Monobe returned with Beato, who wore a meek expression. She didn't yet have her usual bold smile, but it looked like the blood wasn't rushing to her head anymore. Hey, it's your turn. Did you decide on your next move?
I resign.
Me talking to Toby and Danny when we played Monopoly. Hey. I don't know if we told the story, but when Rena came to visit, Toby and Danny, and Rena, we all played Monopoly together. Bad idea.
They were really upset about it.
They were really upset about it. They got really into it. And for the longest time, I was losing. Like all I had were, I believe it was just the railroads. I believe that was all I had. Like I think I had all the railroads. But I was able to just get some trades done and ended up winning the entire game. And I genuinely like, oh god, did I ruin my friendship with them? Like I was genuinely worried that they were legit pissed at me.
They get serious about Monopoly.
I will say, it's one of the proudest I've ever been of myself. I was so shocked that I won. I was so shocked that I came from nothing and I won. I was a simple I had a simple railway monopoly. I was a simple rail tycoon, and then I owned the entire board.
For now, I will let you have your victory.
Beato told me that frankly. Seems she'd taken a far-sighted view, as though saying, if you want to laugh, then laugh. It's a bit of a killjoy, and I lost my desire to deliver the final blow. Well, now that you've resigned, that just means we're even, since my theory and yours can't deny each other. Should have shown more like a tie than a loss.
I don't need your disgusting sympathy. I'm telling you that I lost this round. When you find a dog drenched with rain, you have a sudden urge to whack it with a stick or something.
I don't know, I feel like what Beatrice is doing is more... Not Beatrice, what Battler is doing is more along the lines of, like, moving something so it's above the wet dog. It's not exactly helping dry the dog off and, like, getting it to a warm place, but it's just, like, a little something to help it. Nope. I'm not you. Fucking mic drop. Even though she ridiculed me horribly when I showed signs of defeat, this is the best she's got when the tables have turned. I did feel that was pretty cowardly of her, but I decided to act with dignity as the victor and let it slide. Beato resigned. That's the one result of the first twilight. Beatrice couldn't counter my move of one of the six was the culprit, and that person died in an accident. No, she probably could have countered it, but for some strategic reason, she admitted defeat. Felt less like I'd won, and more like I let her slip away at the last second. In a chess match with a witch, battles can be fought solely with pieces known as X, which require no detailed explanations. Thanks to the Devil's Proof, I could create as many strange fictions as I want and use them as fighters in our argument. But that only works in a chess match with a witch. In our human world, you can't use such abstract theories to explain things. The first Twilight was a chain of 6 close rooms. It certainly may have been possible for a human. Beato wasn't able to deny all possibilities. However, I don't have a clue who committed the crime, or why, or how they actually did it. It seems strange to hear me saying this after I won. But for some reason, I feel like I'd have been more satisfied if Beatrice had been able to say definitively that it was impossible for humans. I managed to avoid specifics using an abstract piece called X. But I couldn't deny the sense that some eerie intent that must never be known was filling up this entire mansion.
That should be a good place to leave off.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I was going back and forth in my head. Yeah, I feel like this is a good time to end off. That was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun in this.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us on another episode of Umineko. Like I already said, that was a lot of fun. That was a really fun episode.
Yeah.
I hope you join us next time. Bye for now.